Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another player prop video. In this one, we're talking about prize picks for the MLB All-Star Game. And in the video, we have 4 picks for you guys to consider. So stay tuned to hear all 4 of the picks we have. Also, if you guys are big into MLB player props and prize picks, underdog, thing like that, check out Prop Projections. We're partnered with them this MLB season. You could join for free on their Patreon, and they send out free projections every once in a while. This is what one of their projection spreadsheets looks like. So they commonly have around 200 projections on any given day, and basically what you're going to get is their projection, which is based on a number of things like stats, other sportsbooks lines, the opponent that they're facing, the pitcher that they're facing. They take a ton into account with their projections, and they've been pretty solid this season. You can also see the win percentage based on their projection. But a really cool thing I like to do with their spreadsheets is you can make a copy of it, and then you can input your own projections. So if you think 8.9 is too high, you can go in and change it to 8.6, and you can see the win percentage changes, and then you can go ahead and filter by your new projections and see your own winning percentages on your own projections. So super cool what you can do over on Prop Projections. So join up for free there, and you'll get notified when they post their spreadsheets. They do a free one about once a week, but also you can sign up for just $1 per spreadsheet. If you just click join, you could set a monthly limit on how many spreadsheets you want to get per month, and you get notified when they're posted over there in their Patreon. So definitely check them out. It's been an awesome tool for this MLB season, and definitely a good partner that I use their projections every day when they come out. So now let's get into this one. So All-Star Game, obviously going to be pretty hard to predict some of what these players are going to do, because a lot of these players are playing in a very small sample size, and I think it's definitely an advantage to take some unders. So I think 3 of these 4 picks that we have for you guys are going to be unders, because a lot of these guys just aren't going to have that many chances. Like we saw last All-Star Game, expect another low-scoring game. I think the run total is at 7, and a lot of people are thinking it's even going to go under 7. But you could see last year on the NL, 1 player got 3 at-bats. Most guys got 2. Some guys even just got 1 at-bat. We also saw just 7 players on the NL get a hit, and the AL also 7 players get a hit. As far as pitching, we could come down. We can see for the NL, every pitcher who played got exactly 1 inning. For the AL, we had some pitchers get even less than an inning. So not a lot of time here to get, say, a strikeout and a half, something like that. And then you got to think, if the team is down, are these closers going to get full innings here as well? Which is what happened to the AL last year. They were losing, and some of these pitchers came in for partial innings. So I think we can take advantage of some unders on this one for sure. So the first one I'm going to is going to be Mason Miller, under on a strikeout and a half. Like I said, he could get a full inning, but even if he does get 1 full inning, he would need 2 strikeouts in that inning against basically the best hitters in the league, right? So for Miller, I also think that it is possible that he pitches under an inning and doesn't even get a full 3 outs here to work with. So for 1.5 strikeouts, for a guy who's under a 2 strikeout per inning guy historically this season, not really liking this one. Going to be taking the under on this, and hopefully, honestly, he just goes less than an inning, and then it's going to be really hard for him to get this in 2 outs if he goes 2 strikeouts or 2 outs against the best hitters in the world. So going to be taking the under on Miller here. Also his first All-Star game, probably going to have some nerves in this one, so going to be taking the under. All right, the next one, we're going to go Juan Soto on the under of a half total base. Basically, he's coming up in the lineup. 3rd is where he's slated to hit, and that means he's going to come up against Paul Skeens starting for the NL. So everyone expects Skeens to absolutely dominate in his starting first inning here. So Soto is going to have to face him in the first inning, it's looking like. So it is possible that that's his only at-bat against Skeens and doesn't get a hit, and then doesn't even make it to next time in the lineup. He did get 3 at-bats in last year's All-Star Game, so maybe the manager's like, hey, you've had your at-bats, you're just getting 1 this game. I would think 2 at the max. As we saw, he was the only player on both sides to get 3 at-bats. Every other player got 2 or less, so For Soto, I'm going to be taking the under, coming up at least one time against Skeens, and then not even guaranteed he's going to get another at-bat here. So I'm going to be taking the under for Soto here. Obviously a tough pitching matchup against Skeens, who just went 7 hitless innings, I think, in his last start. If I'm not mistaken, that was his last start. So, yeah, definitely a tough matchup in his first at-bat and not guaranteed for a second, in my opinion. So, going to be taking the under for Soto. For the next one, I'm going to go to Clay Holmes on the under of a hit allowed. And honestly, I don't even think it's guaranteed that he gets in the game. I don't know if he doesn't get in the game, if it just doesn't count on PrizePicks, if they just wash it, or if you take the under and then it's just an automatic win if they don't get in the game. But if he does get in, I definitely could see him coming in for an out or two like we saw last year with the AL. If we come back and look, 11 pitchers got in the game last year for the AL, and 4 of them pitched under an inning. And I do think that, they had 2 setup men for Bautista last year, and he blew the save, and then they had another guy come in to pitch just 1 out here. So I do think that we could see something similar where Holmes just comes in for an out or 2, or just doesn't even get in the game at all. So like I said, we saw 11 pitchers last year for the AL, and there are 12 pitchers on their roster for this year, with 5 relievers on their roster as well. So I don't think it's guaranteed that he gets a full inning at all. So I like the under for him on just a half hit allowed. Again, the All-Star game has been pretty down as far as runs and hits, and people expect it to be around 7 runs or less again in this one. So not a ton of hits to go around. One over I am going to is going to be Trey Turner over on a half base. He's going to come up in one of the first 3 spots. He is slated to come up second in the lineup. So for Trey Turner against Corbin Burnes, who he's going to face in the first inning, he is 4 for 10 lifetime against him, which is good to see. And I do think that hitting off Corbin Burnes is definitely going to be easier than getting one on the first inning against Skeens. Also, we've seen Trey Turner this year hitting .349, having an insane season so far as batting average, so definitely like to see that. I think for a half a hit allowed, this is definitely going to be my favorite on the over, because, like I said, hitting .349, coming up against Corbin Burnes, who he's 4 for 10 against in his career, hitting second in the lineup, so he probably will come around at least twice. But like I said, with Soto, not guaranteeing 2 at-bats, but I do think Turner being second in the lineup, hitting for a high average, he will come up and I think has a good matchup in his first inning matchup against Burnes. Corbin Burnes, obviously a right-handed pitcher, and this season Trey Turner hitting .362 against right-handed pitchers, so even better average against righties. So liking this spot for Trey Turner. I think he's in a good one if we're taking it over on a hitter, so liking him for this pick to round out the slip. So if you guys are into MLB betting this season, definitely check out Prop Projections. You're going to get like 200 player prop projections here. You could join up for free on their Patreon. They do send about once a week a free spreadsheet, or you could sign up now for just $1 per spreadsheet. These spreadsheets are fully customizable. You can come in here, make a copy, and then put in your own projections to get your new winning percentage over here and filter by that. But their projections have been spot on. They take into account a ton of stats and matchups and what other sportsbooks have these lines at. So definitely check them out. They'll be linked down below and the pinned comment. You could join for free, or you could set a monthly limit on how many spreadsheets you want to get for just $1 per spreadsheet. So definitely check them out. I also made this video for our partnership here that you could watch right now. It's this video here on the end card, so check it out. You can see more about how Prop Projections works. Subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you in another video.